What's up, everybody? Eyecee here, and welcome to another NBA video. This one is for October 29th, 3-game slate. So I'm just going to make this a quick video because honestly I've been sitting here for a couple of hours now with technical difficulty after difficulty, and I just don't want to spend any more time, so I'm just going to hopefully wrap this up quickly. My night last night was really bad. I didn't win anything of significance. My cash games totally flopped. My GPPs, I did alright in some of them. I got some of my money back, but I didn't profit by any stretch of the imagination. I got 60% of my buy-in back, so not a total loss, but a bad night in general. Most of these players just didn't hit value. Ilyasova and Melly were crap. Josh Hart wasn't good. Trae Young, Drummond didn't hit value. Should have had Embiid here if we got the news a minute earlier, but of course we got it a minute later. Kenrich Williams, Brandon Ingram, and RJ Barrett were the only really good guys I had here. Hezonja, Okafor, Pascal, Lonzo, Harden, Giannis, Westbrook, all these guys were terrible. Alfred Payton was garbage. So overall, a bad night. But that happens in NBA. It's a long season. You don't win every single day. If we did, then a lot of these guys that make content wouldn't be making content. They'd be living in their mansions, parasailing. You know what I mean. You gotta have a short memory, guys. It is a long season, and today's another day. So let's get right into today's slate. Again, I'm just gonna speed through this. Not really much to say for the Atlanta side, except Trae Young I like, John Collins I like. I feel safe and comfortable playing these guys. Better matchup against the Miami Heat. They both had tough matchups against the 76ers yesterday. Atlanta should have won that game. I don't know why Vince Carter is playing 10 minutes a game, why he took that potential game-winning shot. I don't know why he took that shot. Shouldn't have taken that shot. Atlanta should have another win, in my opinion. But Trae Young and John Collins will look to right the wrongs from yesterday's game. Trae Young especially. Both these guys are in play. I like their matchups here. I like their opportunity. And I just like this game in general. I think it's going to be the highest scoring game. So those are the two guys I like the most from Atlanta. DeAndre Hunter's the other guy I'm looking at. He's getting the safest amount of minutes between all the small forward, power forward, shooting guard, plethora of players they have here. They just have a lot of players here. There's an abundance of talent on this team at the shooting guard, small forward, and power forward position. Honestly, the safest guy to go here is DeAndre Hunter. Someone with a low floor but a lot of upside, as well as Jabari Parker. But his minutes, I don't understand his minutes. Some days he's playing and taking shots, some days he's not. And he was also depending on his shot falling. So I personally don't feel safe playing Jabari Parker, but he'd be slightly in consideration. Huerter still on a minute restriction, not interested. DeAndre Bembry would be the other guy I had slight interest in. However, he's not been handling the ball as much as he was in preseason, and yeah, that was preseason. But even when he is on the court, usually Vince Carter's been handling the ball for some reason. I don't know why Vince Carter's playing 10 minutes. I really don't get it when you have this many young talent on your team that could be using those 10 minutes to grow and nurture and get better. But whatever, that's why the Hawks are going to be shit. But Bembry's the other guy I'd consider here. And then the one guy I'm only going to mention, he's probably a bad play 95% of the time. But the only reason why I'm mentioning him is because this is a back-to-back, and Alex Len usually plays reduced minutes as it is. Being a back-to-back, he might play even more reduced minutes, and Bruno Fernando will become a play based on that. They needed Bruno Fernando really the other day to match up with Philly's size and strength. And who knows, they might use it again against Miami's Bam and Myers Leonard. But if Len is limited or restricted, then definitely Bruno Fernando is one guy I'd be going to. But yeah, that's pretty much it from the Heat side. I'm not too interested in any of the other bums because they're very flaky. The minutes are hard to predict. The usage and volumes are hard to predict because Atlanta Hawks still hasn't figured out their depth chart. They don't know who falls where. We have a good idea of where the three guys fall, the top three guys, but the rest of these guys, it's all up for grabs for them. So they're still trying to figure that out, and that's why we're going to see weird lineups at time for the first couple of weeks until it all settles down. Miami Heat has Jimmy Butler coming back, meaning Tyler Hero is probably going to be coming off the bench now, meaning Goran Dragic is now the 6th or 7th guy off the bench with Tyler Hero. With all that said, Jimmy Butler just had the birth of his child. He is now a father. He's going to be super motivated. This might be a statement dedication game. We've seen many of these from other athletes in the past where they have a birth of a child and they just come back to, and they just proceed to just destroy the league. Van Vliet last postseason, he had the birth of a child, came back and destroyed the playoffs. Jimmy Butler is in the same similar position now. It's not the playoffs, but it is the Atlanta Hawks. He is friends with Trae Young. They have a little bit of a thing. But Jimmy Butler is just a competitive guy, as he is, feisty guy. Good matchup for him against the Atlanta Hawks, who don't really play that good of a defense. DeAndre Hunter might make it a little tough for him, but I think Jimmy Butler is going to have a good time tomorrow, and he's going to put his child, dedication game for his child tomorrow. Aside from Butler, Bam Adebayo I'd be considering in play. No doubt about it. Not much to say here. He's just been very consistent, very good. And they're going to need him against John Collins. He doesn't even get into foul troubles all that much, so there's no risk in that department. The minutes look good, so Bam's in play for me. Winslow's usage is going to go down a little bit with Jimmy Butler back. I don't think he sees this many minutes at all. There were 2 overtime games here, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Justice Winslow shouldn't be seeing this many minutes with Jimmy Butler back, and he shouldn't be seeing as much usage as he has been. Meaning, at this price point, I'm not really gonna be too keen on playing Winslow. Will I? Sure. I'm gonna have some Justice Winslow, but I'm not gonna be having a lot of Justice Winslow with Jimmy Butler back. Kendrick Nunn, on the other hand, I will be playing Kendrick Nunn a lot. Matter of fact, I might as well just put him in my lineup right now because I really like Kendrick Nunn. He's 24 years old. He's even older than Trae Young. People still think this guy's a young rookie. He's a rookie by definition, but he's a young man, mature man, and there's a reason why he's starting over Dragic. Dragic coming off the bench, I don't mind, but it all depends on how this game pans out. If it's a close competitive game, sure, Dragic's going to be a fantastic play, but if it panders in any direction for either team, then Dragic might not be seeing extended minutes like he has been. He might see reduced minutes. Aside from that, Tyler Hero is going to be a little bit lower owned than he has been so far this season. Definitely in play for me. I wouldn't mind going to some Tyler Hero here. But yeah, it's very shot dependent here. However, it's keen to note that when he has played with Jimmy Butler, he's performed very much better than without Jimmy Butler. All preseason, it was very noticeable that Jimmy Butler and him had great chemistry. So I expect him to be on the floor with Jimmy Butler quite a lot tomorrow. And I expect a good performance from him. At this price point, it's a relatively fair price point for the risk and the upside, so I wouldn't mind going here. Kelly Olynyk's the guy we have to keep an eye on. If he's out, I wouldn't mind going to Myers Leonard. But yeah, very slightly I'd go to Myers Leonard if Kelly Olynyk's out. If Kelly Olynyk's in, I wouldn't mind playing Kelly Olynyk, but it is a back-to-back, and not for them actually, sorry. Kelly Olynyk's coming off of a bad game. He had a 5.5 fantasy point production on a back-to-back. So I don't know how much chance Kelly Olynyk here has to play. He had a left quadricep contusion, so they might not want to risk him with his injury history, meaning Myers Leonard might see a little bit of increase in minutes, although he didn't see all that much anyways, because they needed to go to Bruno Fernando. Not Bruno Fernando, sorry. They had to go to Chris Silva to stop Towns and them the other day. But yeah, if Kelly Olynyk's out, Myers Leonard I'd be looking at. But that's pretty much it. I'm not really too interested in anybody else on this Miami team. On the Dallas team, Luka Doncic definitely in play. Kristaps Porzingis definitely in play. Don't really need to say much about them. The only thing to note here is they're going up against Jamal Murray and the Joker, and the tougher defensive team in general. So far, these guys have played not a really good defensive team. Portland is not good defensively. New Orleans is not good defensively. And Washington is definitely not good defensively. Now they go up against a defensive team. I think Luka Doncic finally slows down a little bit and comes back down to earth. I'd still be willing to pick Luka very safely just because he sees a lot of usage and upside here. And honestly, I think Dallas can beat Denver. I don't think it's a mismatch or anything like that. I just think that Denver slows down Luka and makes Porzingis the one that beats them. And they've shown in the past that they really slow down the guards. They did it to Phoenix the other day. They did it to who else they played? They did it to Phoenix. They did it to De'Aaron Fox the other day. They did it to McCollum the previous first game of the season. So they've shown the ability to shut down guards and slow them down. Luka Doncic is not your typical guard, of course. He can go out there and play 3 different positions. So there's that, and it's Luka Doncic. He's a very clutch shot maker, very confident player, lots of skill and talent to go around. But Denver has shown they can slow down guards. So there is that risk. Because of that in mind, Luka Doncic is not in like 100% of my lineups. He'll probably be in like 50 to 60, but that's the reason why. Porzingis, another guy I would rather go to. Porzingis can actually put Millsap, Jokic into foul trouble. Jokic is prone to foul troubles. If Jokic is in foul trouble, then Plumlee becomes a play, but Porzingis will be the reason why he's in foul trouble. 8,200 Porzingis, not a bad price at all. I don't mind him at all. Definitely don't mind going to him. Aside from these two guys, depending on who starts between Delon Wright and Jalen Brunson, the coach Carlisle really messed it up by putting both of these guys in the starting lineup the other day, which was bad. It wasn't good. Kind of messed up everything. Both of these guys have shown upside. Delon Wright in particular has tremendous upside. We all know that. He's a triple-double threat if he can get minutes and usage. But Jalen Brunson has been the consistent guy, the go-to guy, and he's been performing relatively well so far this season. Last game, because he started, kind of threw everything off because now there was a lot more mouths to feed in that starting lineup. But with him coming off the bench, I like him more. Brunson, that is. Kleber is another guy I'll definitely be playing in my lineups tomorrow, and I'm just going to go ahead and put him in my lineup right now. I don't care if Dwight Powell plays or he doesn't play. Even if Dwight Powell plays, he should only be playing limited minutes, and it shouldn't be enough to really mess up Max Kleber here, whose price is fairly good. He is going to be going up against Jokic and Millsap, which is a little scary, but the price here is really good for the amount of usage he's getting. Dorian Finney-Smith, another guy I wouldn't mind going to, definitely could be in play. 3,400 is a pretty decent price for him, so he's another guy I'll be considering. Aside from that, I'm not really too interested in anybody else. Justin Jackson, maybe. The coaches love his defense, and honestly, he should be in the starting lineup, but they also don't know their depth chart yet. Like Atlanta, they're still trying to figure it out. So every game, you could get a different starting lineup from time to time, and stuff that sometimes doesn't make sense just because the coach wants to see how it looks. So there's that. On the Denver side, Jokic's in play at 10K, very good price. Definitely in play. It's just a foul trouble history with him, and going up against Porzingis, who's a taller, lankier guy that could get him into foul trouble. It's a little nerve-wracking, but definitely in play. Jamal Murray, same thing. He's going to have to guard Luka. Maybe that limits his opportunity for offense a little bit. So that's the risk there. 6,600 is also a price I don't mind, but there's other guys I could also get to. Millsap is the one guy who's priced fairly well. It's just the minutes aren't what they used to be. He can definitely go out there and smash, but he's also a guy that could go out there and just be mediocre. So he's a risk, but someone that they'll definitely be needing tomorrow. Gary Harris, they're going to be needing his defense. Is he going to show up on offense? That's the real question. Will Barton, is he going to show up? That's the real question. So far, in 2 games, he's shown up. 1 game, he hasn't. So this is the type of thing we expect from Will Barton production. It's a hit or miss. You never really know what you're going to get with him. My personal favorite play on the Denver Nuggets is Mason Plumlee. Again, I'm going with the notion that Jokic gets into foul trouble. That's it. I only like Plumlee based on that. If Jokic's in foul trouble, he's going to see 19 to 20 minutes, and he can get 24 DraftKings points at this price, which makes him hit 6x value. He also allows you to get to some other guys at this cheap price, but by no means is he one of the better upside cheap plays. There's Malik Beasley, Torrey Craig, both of whom which have higher upside than Mason Plumlee. It's just Mason Plumlee has a safer floor if he plays, that is, right? So if Mason Plumlee plays his minutes, his floor is safe, and then the upside is decent. But between Torrey Craig and Malik Beasley and even Monte Murray, who's going to get the minutes? Who's going to get the production? Both Beasley and Torrey Craig have shown that they usually do better. But Monte Morris also had times last year where he would just go out and just destroy the slate. And as you can see, he's just missing his shots right now. If his shot falls, he could easily be just like Beasley and Torrey Craig. So these 3 guys are a real confusing thing here. Who's going to get the minutes? Who's going to play? If I had to bet on it, I'd go with Malik Beasley. He's been the one consistent factor since going back to last year. Torrey Craig mostly came as a product of injury to Will Barton last year. But Malik Beasley was the guy that was routinely coming in and off the bench last year for Harris and Murray. So he's the guy I'd be safest going with there. Memphis Grizzlies, another young team. They're led by Jonas Valanciunas and Jay Crowder. Honestly, John Morant, I love watching this kid play. 7,100 is a little bit of a steep price for him, especially knowing that he's going to be guarded by Avery Bradley, KCP, Danny Green, all of whom will try to limit him. You might even see LeBron at times. Getting to the basket might be tough with Howard and AD. So honestly, this is a spot where I might not play him as much as I like this kid. It's a 3-game slate, so he's going to be in consideration for sure because he is the primary ball handler and the most usage on the team. But there's other guys like Jaren Jackson I could go to. Jaren Jackson is a walking foul. He's always a threat to foul out of the game when he's on the court. So there's that. But 6,400 on a 3-game slate in consideration. Not favorably, but in consideration. Jonas Valanciunas still seeing limited minutes. I don't think Jonas Valanciunas does good tomorrow based on the matchup, but Jonas doesn't shy away from competition. He's a man's man, and he'll go out there and he'll fight for his rights and his minutes and his fame or his ego. What the hell, man? I said all those words and I wasn't even close. He's gonna make sure, and he has a lot of pride. I still wasn't right. Oh my god. It's just been a horrible morning, man. I've literally been sitting here for 2 hours trying to record this. My god. But yeah, Valanciunas has a lot of pride and someone that's definitely going to go out there and try and compete in a limited amount of minutes. He is one of the leaders on this team, so there's that too. 6,300 is not a bad price. As you guys can see here, he smashed it last game in his limited minutes. It was against Brooklyn, against Jared Allen, who can't defend for shit. We saw that against Embiid last year, who abused Jared Allen in the playoffs. That's another trend going forward. Pick centers against Brooklyn. It was already a trend, but I just thought I'd mention it. Jay Crowder, the leader of this team. Jay Crowder, 5,200, fills up the stat sheet, getting 30-plus minutes. Definitely in play for me. I wouldn't mind going to Jay Crowder here. They're going to need him against the Lakers if they hope to stand any chance. Brandon Clark, another guy, he's a little bit cheaper than Jaren Jackson, who's been getting a good amount of minutes. He is not a walking foul, and he also has a lot of upside. His price is kind of high now, but he still has a lot of upside. The matchup is good. They're going to need his size and strength. So Brandon Clark is someone that I'm actually going to put in my lineup now. Actually, no, I'm not. Aside from Brandon Clark, Tyus Jones, Dylan Brooks, both these guys I'm on the fence with. Dylan Brooks is very shooting dependent. Tyus Jones has been getting minutes, but he's yet to really perform well. He had one good performance. Kyle Anderson is a safer guy I wouldn't mind going to for a cheap punt. He's questionable, so if he stays questionable and then ends up playing, I'd really love him. I love playing guys that are questionable that end up playing because their ownership is naturally lower, and somehow they end up always doing good. Embiid was another example yesterday. Questionable, 1 minute later after lock, he was good to go, and he destroyed Drummond. So Kyle Anderson's another guy I'd probably be playing. I like his price. I like his usage. He's a good defender. They need him against the Lakers particularly. He's a San Antonio player. And he's had his duels with Danny Green, so I look forward to seeing those two up against each other. And then that's pretty much it for this Memphis team, right? Do I like anybody else? Grayson Allen, very shot dependent. Solomon Hill. On the Pelicans last year, he did the same thing. Randomly would have a really good game, but then the next day he would not play, or he would have a 5 DraftKings point performance in 30 minutes. So just a very weird player. I don't really like playing him, but he's the type of player that can win you a GPP for sure. If he's going to get the same amount of minutes, why not? Safe to go with him, I guess. But I'm personally not one of my favorite guys. Marko Guduric. This guy had a lot of hype to him, and he's yet to fulfill any bit of it. So I'll keep an eye on him. If he starts doing good, then I expect him to get more and more run in this offense. But as it stands, he's someone that to not really be looked at. And Grayson Allen, another shot-dependent guy. He's not even getting the minutes anymore, and he's shot-dependent, so he's not really in play for me. But just honorable mentions, I guess. Last team, Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron, both in play. Don't really need to say much. Between LeBron and AD, I like AD more. LeBron's going to be defaulting to AD on most nights. Just in general, he's going to default to AD. AD's going to get his. But that doesn't mean LeBron's not going to get his too. LeBron's also going to get his. Just not as much as AD on any given night. Especially against a team like Memphis, who they don't really even need to try against. It could be a close game because Memphis has shown that they've kept it close with most of their competition so far, and their young talent is fearless, and they really want to prove themselves in the league this year. That's one thing I like about the season so far. A lot of the bum teams are actually going out there and competing, which is good to see for a change. Well, with that said, Dwight Howard's the other guy I like. He's coming off of a really good game. 5K is a really good price. He can actually defend, unlike JaVale McGee, and I guess the Lakers like that now. JaVale McGee was one of the main problems in the Lakers last year. He was also one of their best offensive threats, but he was their biggest defensive liability. With Dwight Howard in the mix now, they've kind of reduced both ends. Dwight Howard is not the same offensive threat as McGee can be, but Dwight Howard is way better defensively. He is a former Defensive Player of the Year after all, and it shows. He's old now, but he still has that same mindset, and it showed last game. 5K, I don't really mind. They're definitely gonna need Howard against Triple J, walking foul ass. Oh my God, it's been a long day. I apologize. Oh man, sorry. I apologize to you guys, but. Yeah, Dwight Howard would be my safest guy out of all the cheap guys. Danny Green, very shot dependent. He could get you rebounds, but that's about it. He's just gonna stand there in a corner and shoot the three and D. Avery Bradley, we've seen what his defense is. We've yet to see him do anything offensively. KCP, we've yet to really see him do anything. It's typical KCP games. He's mediocre in the amount of minutes he's playing. First 2 games, he couldn't make a shot to save his life. And then Quinn Cook's another guy. He got good amount of minutes last game, good production, but it wasn't a blowout scenario. Could happen again today, so he's in play for me. I'd be considering him based on that. And even if it's not a blowout, he's still gonna see around similar minutes. It's just his production. If his shot's falling, he's good. With Rondo out and Caruso not getting minutes, he's one of the backup point guards that's getting the first look after LeBron's getting the ball taken out of his hands. So Quinn Cook's definitely played for me, but that's about it. I'm not really too keen on anybody else. Troy Daniels, honorable mention here. He can go out there and give you a triple-double. When he used to be on the Phoenix Suns, he still has that jersey on here. He did have that upside on certain nights. If he was getting minutes and run, he could go out there and get a triple-double. But he's very unsafe, very risky play, someone I wouldn't really care about playing all that much. With that said, let's just go out there and draft the lineup real quick. I'm going to put Dwight Howard in there because I was really impressed with what I saw the other day. Aside from Dwight Howard, I like Trae Young's spot here. And the only reason I'm doing this fast is because I already did this in the other video. Oh my God. But I did have a little bit of struggles with these last spots here. I know I want to be playing AD, but I also want to be playing Porzingis. So I could also just completely fade AD and LeBron, which on the 3-game slate doesn't really seem like a very smart option. But when you have Kristaps Porzingis, who can pretty much get you what AD is getting at a 2K discount, I like the thought of that. And then I kind of want to play Bam, which leaves me with 7,100. And with 7,100, who do I want with 7,100? I like Winslow. I really do. Even with Butler back, I like Winslow. But I do like him a lot less with Butler back. That's for damn sure. I like Butler. So if I put Butler in here and I put Bam in here, what can I do? John Collins with 600 salary left. This is the prices today are a little weird. It is what it is, but put Porzingis, and you know what? Put Porzingis in the power forward. And then I wouldn't mind going with Dorian Finney-Smith or even Plumlee. Plumlee only if it's a blowout. Again, I did the same thing the other day. I played Plumlee hoping it would be a blowout or Jokic would get into foul trouble. The game ended up going to overtime that day against Phoenix. However, yesterday Plumlee did well, 25, and it is a back-to-back, so maybe they limit Jokic a little bit based on that, and Plumlee gets a little bit of run. They stagger the minutes. I don't mind that. Myers Leonard, I don't mind either if Kelly Olynyk's out. Pretty good pick. Malik Beasley and Torrey Craig both have a lot of upside, and Dorian Finney-Smith's getting a lot of minutes still. But again, if Dwight Powell comes back, he's probably going to take some minutes away from DFS here. But again, I don't mind. Personally, I'm willing to go with the Denver back-to-back. Jokic staggered minutes, foul trouble, blowout. There's a lot of upside there. There's 3 things. You could either stagger Jokic's minute, there could be a blowout, or Jokic could get into foul trouble. They're definitely going to need Plumlee's size. So, I don't mind. I like this, and I'm probably going to go with this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate all you guys. I already answered. Appreciate all you guys that are tuning in and listening to me speak. If you liked anything I had to say, please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I could do better. Sorry it was a little fast-paced. Tomorrow we'll be back to regular format videos. Thank you for all the people that have subscribed. I'm over 100 plus subscribers now. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that have been subscribing. Thank you. Thank you for listening. And best of luck tonight, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.